The desert wind carried the taste of dust and danger as the sun sank low over the frontier, painting the land in a harsh golden glow. And it was under that dying light that Lyra and Naya realized the price of knowing what they were never meant to know. They had stumbled by pure accident upon a secret that powerful men had buried deep beneath the quiet routines of the plains. A secret that could unravel a smuggling ring stretching from the borderlands to the heart of the settlements. They thought telling the wrong man would bring justice. Instead, it brought them to the twisted branches of an old cottonwood, where they were bound by their ankles and hung upside down like trophies meant to break. Not just bodies, but spirits. Blood pooled in their heads, their arms brushed the dust below. And the outlaws' rough laughter echoed as they threatened to finish what they had started when the sun rose. But fate had a way of sending help in the most unlikely form, and that help rode in on a worn-out horse with a tired saddle. Unaware that destiny had lined his path with purpose, Eli Branson, a weathered rancher known more for his silence than his reputation, had been drifting across the plains searching for a missing calf when he spotted two figures swaying from the tree. At first, he thought the world was playing tricks on him. Heat mirages were known to cause illusions. But as he rode closer and saw the bruises and the terror in their eyes, every instinct forged from years of surviving a ruthless frontier snapped into place. He dismounted with a slow, deliberate calm, hand resting near his holster, eyes scanning the horizon for whoever had done this. Lyra, choking on words that felt too heavy, managed to whisper that the men would return at dawn. Men who called themselves Ridge Company, a group Eli had already heard whispers of horse thieves, traffickers, and killers who bribed their way into the pockets of small-town lawmen. Eli knew that freeing the women meant more than cutting a rope. It meant declaring war on a group that thrived on fear. Still, he stepped beneath them, his voice steady as he told them he wasn't leaving them behind. He loosened the knots carefully, lowering them one by one, supporting their weight as if their lives were his own kin's. They could hardly stand, but their spirits reignited when Eli spoke the words that shifted the night's balance. "Tell me what you know." And so they did. They revealed how they had overheard plans to move weapons through the reservation lands, plans that involved bribing the sheriff and framing innocent people to cover their tracks. The outlaws needed silence. Lyra and Naya had chosen truth. Eli listened without flinching, and when they finished, he stared at the tree, at the fraying ropes, at the dust shaped by suffering, and something hardened inside him. The night was quiet, but not empty. In its silence, Eli gathered their supplies, wrapped blankets around the women, and led them to a small ravine where they could rest. He didn't tell them the full truth that the Ridge Company had taken from him once before, that they were the reason his brother never came home, but he didn't need to. The way he checked the bullets in his revolver said enough. When the moon rose high, Eli returned to the cottonwood and waited. Time stretched long, but he didn't waver. And when he finally heard the thunder of hooves approaching, followed by rough voices and drunken confidence, he melted into the shadows like a ghost who had learned vengeance the hard way. The outlaws arrived mocking, expecting to see the women suffering where they'd left them. But instead, they found an empty tree and a man who refused to bow. Without raising his voice, Eli stepped into the lantern light and told them justice wouldn't stay buried anymore. The confrontation that followed was brief, but decisive. A clash of wills rather than spectacle, and by the time the dust settled, the Ridge Company's reign over the territory had fractured. The survivors fled into the darkness, too shaken to look back. And Eli gathered the discarded weapons they left behind, evidence that would finally bring the truth to the surface. At sunrise, Eli returned to Lyra and Naya, who waited anxiously at the ravine's edge. When they saw him alive, relief washed over them like a blessing the desert had long forgotten. Together, they rode to town, tired but determined. And Eli walked straight into the sheriff's office, dropped the outlaws' rifles at his feet, and revealed everything the women had witnessed. The sheriff paled, stammered, and tried to dismiss them. But word spread, quickly townsfolk gathered, testimonies erupted, and the corrupt foundation of the Ridge Company crumbled under the weight of truth that could no longer be silenced. Lyra and Naya were hailed not just as survivors, but as the courage the frontier desperately needed, and though Eli said little, the look in his eyes carried a vow that justice would always find a way when people chose to stand together. As the three of them parted Wazalai back to his ranch, the women toward a new beginning, they understood that the world was still dangerous, still unfair, but no longer hopeless. And for every viewer hearing their story now, let it be a reminder that standing up against injustice, even when fear hangs you upside down, can change the course of fate. If stories of courage, survival, and frontier justice inspire you, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Your support helps bring powerful tales like this to life and ensures the spirit of resilience continues to ride strong across every new chapter we share. Asterisk,